So, I've just arrived, Ocean BMW at Falmouth. Very friendly, Eva's lent me the bike. Look what we've got here to play with. This is the brand new for 2020 BMW R1800. What a beauty. This is the first edition. On all accounts, it's going to be a model that you can strip out and change, alter, add on. Now the first edition comes in this theme with the fishtail pipes, BMW branded calipers on the front, twin discs, single caliper on the back. It's got this soft tail that looks like a hard tail. Exposed shaft drive, keyless ride, but strange as it is, keyless ride. You need a key to operate the petrol tank, and you also need a key to operate steering lock. We got the usual kit, single clock, 3 riding modes, rain, rock and roll, single seat. I believe there are all sorts of extras you can get. Push rod, 1800cc, 345 kilos wet, 91 brake horsepower, 116 foot-pound, 21,000 pound with the extras on, including the reverse gear. Something they started with the K1600, they've moved it onto this bike. It's a bit of a weird job to sort out. You have to pull the clutch in, turn the lever, let the clutch out, press a button, and it goes into reverse, and repeat the manoeuvre to get it back into normal mode. Anyway, they've told me it's got a full tank of fuel. It's an oil air-cooled model. It's probably one of the biggest air-cooled bikes you can buy at the moment. I can't think of anything else that's this big air-cooled. So we'll just have a quick look at it, and then we're going to go for a ride. So next time you see me, I'll have my helmet on, and we'll be going blasting. Right, the Lofty Biker here. Press ignition. Slow sweep, Berlin built. Bit of torque. Okay, so this is my first outing. Quite vibey. Modes. Rain. We'll start in rain mode, shall we? Quite flat in rain mode. Very vibey. So let's just rain, roll, rock, throttle off, clutch in and mud in. That's a lot sharper. Now why have you done that? I don't know. You're on the biggest bike you can find, 1800cc's, boxer twin, 6'5", and somebody wants to pull out on you. Anyway, so we're cruising along in second gear. Mirrors are excellent. Very, very good. First gear is very low. See if I can find the revs. $1850 rev, there we are, revs, right. 2,900, 3,000 revs. It does smooth out about 2.5, 3. So let's have a look round. First impressions. Well, first impressions is it's a very, very good looking machine. Very well engineered. But for £21,000, including the reverse gear, you would expect that. So floating along now, second gear, 2,000 revs. This bike's brand new. They've had it at the dealership for 2 weeks. I think there's a few people taking it out. I believe nobody at Falmouth has actually purchased one. Eva, a very nice after sales lady, has told me that Ocean at Plymouth have actually sold 5 machines, which is not bad really. So let's see what the roll-on's like. Third gear roll-on. Okay. Quite entertaining actually. So torque is everywhere. A bit like the original Rocket 3 from 2500 revs. But in 5th gear now. Not bad at all, not spoiling the ride. I'll just clock it back to 4. There you go. Feels quite exposed. No screen. I believe the screen's an aftermarket. The seating position, it's mid pegs of course. You could not have forward controls, cruiser style pegs, because of the sticky outy pots. Okay, we're going to take a left here. See if I can find a little bit faster road. Strong back brake, strong. Front brake's not quite so good. But you generally find when the weight's on the back, cruiser style or scooter style, you do tend to get a good back brake. Front probably just needs bedding in a little bit. I'm not going to go for a massive ride. I'm just going to give it a quick tootle around and let you know what I think. Being quite tall and with the mid pegs, I can feel on my groin slightly, a little bit tight. I'm 6'5", so I would imagine for the under 6 footers, 5'10ers, it'd be very comfortable. Plus the fact, if you was slightly vertically challenged, 5'2", 5'3", the seat is so low, it would be easy to ride. And with the reverse gear, you ain't really going to notice or worry about if you park badly. You know yourself, sometimes you pull in, you think, oh, I've drove in here, I should have reversed him. So it shouldn't be a problem for any size. Take a right on the Helston Road. Steers very, oh, the pegs go down very, very easy. Oh dear. That's scraped them well, good and proper. There's not a lot of ground clearance. Oh, it's come up warning key. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm just going to pull over. Oh, it's got off. It's got off. So have a look, away we go. Right, so it shoots up to 80 in 4th. We're cruising now at 16 national speed limit. I'll just slow down a little bit. Probably would need some sort of screen just to direct it a bit. But how big it would have to be, I don't know. So there we are, just ticking away nice. This, although big, it is a cruiser. I don't think it's the sort of bike that you would want to be out thrashing about in the back lanes. I'll just Slow down gently. Problem with this main Helston road is there's quite a few cameras about. There's not that many in Cornwall, but there's a few on this road. So there we are, second gear, 30 mile an hour, 2,300 revs, ticking over sweet. To be honest, that's about where it feels fantastic. It does feel really nice cruising at 30. Like I pointed out on the walk round, I'm not a keyless fan. It's something I think's an answer to a question you've never really asked. For me, you put a key in a lock or a key in an ignition and you turn it. That's what it does. And when you find out that the petrol tank has got a separate key, and then the steering lock has got a separate key, it really makes the keyless system totally redundant. Very strange indeed. So I'm going to take it right here, take it on the twisties. Yeah, that front brake, although it stops, it's not instant. No, she don't like clutchless. But it weren't a bad change really when you think it was from first to second. I'll just ease off here. Masses of engine braking, as you'd imagine. But throttle up, throttle off. Quite a vibey bike, but I suppose as a twin, can't really expect much more. When you think that the Boxer twin engine that they're using in my RS or in the GS has been refined for nearly a century. This is a brand new lump. It's only been in development 3 or 4 years, I believe. It's a beautiful piece of engineering. I've got to keep saying that. Who's it for? Who's it for? That's a good question. Now, this is your typical Cornish road. The suspension's quite compliant, I'll add that. This is your typical Cornish road, especially in the summer when everyone's busy, razzing around everywhere. So, would this bike suit Cornwall? I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. This is lovely, this is playing around. Give the brakes a bit of a squeeze, yeah. Let's have another go at that front brake, there's nothing behind. Yeah, it's not sharp. That's the initial bite. There's very little initial bite, but it does stop. So I'll have a look. There's nobody behind. Give the back brake a squeeze. Yeah, ABS coming in. I must admit, I think these vibes through the bars after a while would make my fingers extremely numb. I used to get numb fingers on my 800 Triumph, my XC800. Lovely bike, but it really made my fingers numb. Yeah, it's very tractable, this engine. Young chap on his pedal bike, he's doing 30 mile an hour. Not the best roads for an overtake, to be fair. I'll nip past. There you go. The steering's very sharp. It's lovely. When you think these sort of bikes, the only thing I can compare it with is Harleys and Rocket 3s and stuff. Compared with my old Rocket, when I had my Rocket 3, you really had to counter steer the Rocket 3. You had to initiate the counter to get it to drop in and then hold it through the turn. This is virtually, you look where you want to go, and the slightest little bit pushing your palms, it just goes. They've got the angle. The geometry is absolutely perfect. Coming through the backside of Stydians. Yeah, those vibes. Not really a big fan of the vibes. So let's go back to it again. Who's this bike for? With BMW being such a conservative brand, and I mean that in the nicest way. Okay, they've got the RR, which is an absolute mental race beast. The main bike they sell is a GS, whether it's an 800, 900 or even the 12 or 1250 now GS. They sell GSs. Everywhere you go, people are riding GSs. And that's the type of biker who goes into a BMW showroom and buys a motorbike. Okay, they've got the big bike. They've got the K16, which is a lovely, lovely super tourer. But at the end of the day, are people who are Triumph minded, or especially Harley Davidson minded. They're so, well, they're like rock, aren't they? It's all the way through, from the top to the bottom. All the way through. Are they going to go across town with the leather chaps on and the tattoos and the big beard and walk into the extremely conservative corporate BMW showroom and be served by extremely smart, fine people who generally don't have beards or tattoos and don't ride this style of bike? I don't know, it's a funny one. I think BMW have made an excellent attempt. They might find in the European or the foreign markets, especially the American market, they might find they'll sell a few, because America's more multi-franchise. They tend to, the BMW dealerships aren't corporate like over in England. They're so corporate here, it's unbelievable. They're even down to the colour of the tiles and the wallpaper and the lighting, everything. If you go in one BMW dealership, you go in them all. They're all the same. That's what it's all about. Triumph, to a certain extent, have gone that way. But when you go to your Harley dealership, it's a bit like Brewdog, if you like. I don't know whether you've ever heard of Brewdog, the beer people, Scottish beer people. It's quite funny, really. Very trendy beer, new modern beer. The bloke who runs the place, he's got a beard, he's got longish hair. To get a job at Brewdog, you have to fit the demographic. They like people with beards who wear jeans. So that's what I'm trying to say about Harley and about BMW. So they might have a nice piece of kit, and at 21 grand, when you compare it with the, what is it, the Fat Boy or whatever the big R is, or the Rocket 3, at 21 grand, it's not massively expensive, is it? For that style of genre of bike. Yeah, the handling's great. Anyway, I wanted this to be a short video, just to give you all the first impressions of what to expect, really. So what I would say is, if you can ignore the corporate image of BMW, this bike as a cruiser is absolutely superb. It's wonderful, really is. The finish, everything. Okay, it's got these PCB controls. They're not the prettiest, but they're very intuitive, easy to use. I suppose I'm going to have to demonstrate the reverse gear for you. There's nobody about. Let's just pull in here. So we select neutral. It's got the hill hold. Nice. We don't want that on at the moment, so let's take it off. So you pull the clutch in. There's a lever down here. You push the lever all the way down. I believe you let the clutch out and flashes R on the screen. No, so we're in reverse. So now you push. There we go. That's pretty good, isn't it? So how do you get it out? You do the same again. Pull the clutch in. Pull the lever up. Let the clutch out, and we're back in neutral. I know it's a bit of a faff, because you can't really do it holding the clutch with your normal left hand. So it's clutch, lever, release, starter button. There we go. To stop it, clutch in, lever, clutch out, back in neutral. Okay, so first gear, away we go. So they have actually thought about things. 345 kilos is a lot of bike. So if you want to reverse it, you've got a reverse gear. If you're on a bit of a slope, you've got the hill hold. As you've seen some of my previous videos, I'm a big fan of the hill hold. And at 345 kilos is a lot of bike. What I will say is, at 91 brake horsepower, it's probably, what, 20-25 brake horsepower down on the R90, but it's got double the torque. So if I was going to buy a toy as such, a weekend toy, would it be the R1800 or would it be the R90? I think I've got to say I would buy the R90, because for probably 90% of the time you can ride it like a motorbike, very spirited. It's a sorted chassis. Well, let's face it, the engine in the R90 is the original sort of 1200 GS engine of the later one with the twin cam. It's got superb brakes on it, Brembos. So yeah, for me, I think I would save some dosh and I would buy an R90. I think if I was a Harley Davidson owner, I'd buy an Harley Davidson. And to be honest with you, from the same point of view, if I'd got a Bobber or a Rocket, I think I'd stay with Triumph. But if any of you out there want to cross the pond, if you like, tow in the Berlin built water, this is a fine motorcycle. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to say it's the Lofty Biker signing out till next time. Ta-ra for now.